Can everybody just watch that?
Just say what he said.
Micah should, as the Cowboys guy, you should send that to.
Unbelievable.
You should send that to Micah.
Unbelievable.
Send that
He's
tape
undefeated. He's got 2 rings back to back. He's going for a 3
rings.
He's like,
you got to be better.
Right.
Yeah, but also he's
on me, all me, everything.
Yeah. What's the question, Wildes?
Question is this:
right.
Are the Chiefs good, lucky, or a little bit of both?
Okay, so they are, as I've been saying every single week, very lucky.
Don't.
And I will explain why in a moment. But first, can I just say, because, Brew, I want to give you credit, because you're the only person in the media that, when they have referenced the Chiefs-Ravens game and Isaiah Likely, has accurately said they were an inch from having a chance to win the game. Not from winning the game, an inch from then 2-point conversion. And because what's going to happen 3 weeks from now is people are going to be like, oh, the Falcons were a blown PI call away from what? From having a 1 or 3 point lead with 4 minutes left and the Chiefs having the ball. Guess what? You were a blown PI call away from losing in a different fashion because he would have ripped your heart out. And this complaining, vetching about the refs all game long in a game where we saw the Falcons score a touchdown on a drive extended by a phantom roughing the passer in a game where we saw another phantom roughing the passer on the Falcons' next drive. I'm sorry, defensive passer on the Falcons' next drive. It's just whiny nonsense. But the Chiefs are lucky. They are lucky in that, despite the fact that they haven't played that well. I don't think they've played that well. I think Mahomes played his best game against the Ravens and still had a weird bad pass in that. I thought yesterday he was fine. I thought a week ago was one of the worst games of his career. Kelsey is yet to really do anything. Their number 1 receiver in the preseason, Hollywood Brown, may never play for him. Their number 1 running back, Isaiah Pacheco's hurt. All of this, despite all that, there is one thing they never do that every other team in the league does, and that's lose. The thing is, here's the thing that's so crazy. They don't play that well. They're actually not that impressive. They're not that scary, all these things. And yet, they just don't lose. And while I don't think wins are a quarterback stat or a tight end stat or any of those things, they are the only team stat that matters. And one thing I got wrong, if I may quickly, I said before the game, I thought Atlanta this might be a letdown spot. They got their big win and all those things. It saved their season against Philly. And then I saw this tweet from Adam Schefter that said, actually quite the opposite. They literally believe this is the biggest game in the history of their stadium. And there's free hot dogs, and there's free soda, and Arthur Blank has held the Arthur Blank committee meeting to decide Arthur Blank gets into the Ring of Honor. And so, for the second straight week, this now applies, which is the Kansas City Chiefs just sleepwalking through your Super Bowl. And also, this still applies. The Kansas City Chiefs, imagine when they actually play well. Because, they don't, and they don't lose. So that would be what I say. Yeah, they're very lucky that they're the only good team in the whole league. That's what they're lucky about.
Wildes, they've done it too much for us to call it luck.
I agree.
Super Bowl, AFC title game, playoff game, whatever it is, comeback wins, close wins, games they seemingly should have lost, they win. And so I can't call it luck. I agree with Nick. If Atlanta had scored a touchdown and taken the lead, is anybody here or in football, the football universe,
run to your
think that
DraftKings app
Mahomes
so
would have
fast?
marched them down to get at least a field goal or whatever they needed to win? Yeah, right. And I think that the Chiefs have developed a mystique, an aura that spooks other teams. And again, the Ravens kind of do it. They seem to have their issues regardless. But the Ravens in their last 2 meetings with the Chiefs, self-inflicted wounds, things like that. Cincinnati, close losses. The pass interference play on 4th and 16, or they win that game. Atlanta, this is spooking too. Changes the way you play because teams now, and I think it started with the Chiefs when their offense was prolific.
They feel like they have to press.
Right, you can't just, nobody else wants to settle for field goals. The Chiefs, ironically, will take field goals.
We love short field goals.
So yeah, Atlanta had the chance. If you kick that field goal, right, when it was 22-17, there was plenty of time. Right, you had been stopping the Chiefs. You had stopped them to 2 touchdowns the whole game, and you kick that field goal, then you stop them again if you do. Then you get back and you kick a field goal to win the game. Yeah. But because it was the Chiefs and Mahomes he'll score a touchdown. It's too much time left. Teams feel like we got to get up 2 touchdowns on the Chiefs. Or 2 scores, I should say.
They do.
2 scores to beat them, and that spooked them and led them into making strange decisions. So, I mean, I don't think they're going undefeated, but, I mean, they're winning these games ugly.
Yeah, it's or both for me. Like, clearly they are a good team. Like, clearly we know that they're a good team. But even with being a good team, sometimes you got to get a little lucky. You got to get a bounce here or there. Collinsworth always does such a great job. He was talking about Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, obviously, he got the interceptions on Patrick Mahomes. He's gotten multiple interceptions on Patrick Mahomes over the course of the last few years. He said, in talking with Justin Simmons, he said to the rest of his teammates, Patrick Mahomes will give you an opportunity. You just have to make the play. They had another opportunity. Yeah. Jesse Bates had another opportunity. Yep. Mahomes threw it slightly behind Rashee Rice, and Jesse Bates had his hands on the ball, and he didn't make the play. Justin Simmons, clearly, he makes this play, but that's the difference. This team finds a way, and we always look at Patrick Mahomes when he gets the ball last, or if he has a chance to go up and win the game. But defensively,
Nick Bolton, man.
Defensively, somebody always makes the play. Yeah. I mean, if they just don't beat
Bolton
themselves.
Was untouched. Like, how does Atlanta let that happen?
Like when you even as a play caller, you talked about pressing. Coaches get tight on the other opposing sideline, where Andy Reid and Spags, they're like, look, I trust my guys. I don't care if we go out there with a backup quarterback, backup tight end. It doesn't matter. I trust my guys. They'll execute. Other teams seemingly don't execute down the stretch. And it's not just the guys on the field. It's the coaches that have the play sheets in their hands that are calling the plays as well.
Go ahead, Wildes.
I want to see the other 2 banners.
Well, I want you to go, and then I'll do the other 2 banners.
No, because my thing is starting a whole firebomb.
No, go ahead. Do it.
I don't
do it.
What?
Do it. Quick.
There's one issue. There's one glaring issue. And this guy has been in the headlines for, most recently on Friday he was in the headlines. I took him off of Washed Watch.
Yeah.
Kelsey cleans up. Washed Watch officially over.
Yeah.
I was wrong, everybody. I've been on a losing streak.
Yeah.
Washed Watch is back on. 8 catches, 69 yards. The whole darn year for pass catchers, 106. Their tight ends is 29th. Even Chris Collinsworth getting a lot of shout-outs this show. I'm just flabbergasted, he said. One game, big deal. 2 games, no big deal. 3rd game now, we haven't seen it. So I'm waiting for it to happen. And maybe it's Jesse Bates, maybe but at some point,
it's
Watch.
No, okay. So you shouldn't be surprised. Chris Collinsworth shouldn't be surprised because I told you what's happening. He has a minimum of 6, a maximum of 10 excellent games left in him. He's Greg's age. He's out there trying to win Super Bowls.
He's not that old.
I mean, I think he is. I think it's a similar birthday. And so he is break glass in case of emergency. This was not one of them. But again, it speaks to, I'll get to the last banners, which is without Kelsey playing that well, Wildes, you're kind of right. The 2024 Chiefs, not as good as the old Chiefs. Yet still better than your dumb team. So it's just what it is. Like if they have to play a game against the 2019 Chiefs, they might be in trouble. But against the 2024 anybody's, I like their chances.
The whole league.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.